MovieWeb.com.
Robotic human surrogates combine the durability of a machine with the grace and beauty of the human body. With most people living their lives through their surrogate selves, our world has become a safer place. Take a seat in your STEM chair, and just with the power of your mind, you can control your surrogate and send it out into the real world. You can live your life without limitations. You see what they see, feel what they feel, and become anyone you want to be from the comfort and safety of your own home. You can finally live the life you've always dreamt of without any risk or danger to yourself.
This really has a, you've been in the robot world before, so like, was there any kind of trepidation on taking this on when?
Well, it's funny, because after I did T3, and I had a great time making T3, but it's like, okay, well, I made my robot movie, now I'm going to go off and do something completely different. And, you know, it's just the way Hollywood works. I was working on some completely different stuff, and then this thing came along, and I just loved the idea. And, you know, that it happens to also be a movie with robots is completely a coincidence, you know. I'm not aspiring to become, like, you know, the robot movie director.
So, like, you have an amazing cast here with Bruce and Radha and Vince. So you just talk about, like, kind of the importance of these guys and, like, why you wanted them for these roles.
Well, my feeling about casting is, first of all, always just get a great actor, you know. And when you're dealing with supporting roles and day players, that's usually an easier task because the criteria is, let's just get the best actor. When you're dealing with movie stars, you know, there's only a small amount of movie stars that studios will finance movies with. So I count my blessings that I was able to get my first choice, who is a movie star that the studio was happy to, you know, make the movie with, but is also a great actor. You know, people think about Bruce and they think, you know, he's, you know, this wisecracking guy in the Die Hard movies, but they forget this guy's a phenomenal actor. You know, I mean, his biggest movie is actually not even Die Hard movies, is Sixth Sense, where he delivered this really soulful kind of performance. And the gift that Bruce brings to his movies is that he makes things really credible. He makes you believe what you're watching, which in a science fiction movie is particularly important.
Robotic surrogates combine the durability of machines with the grace and beauty of the human form to make your life safer and better.
Any idea how a surrogate's head would explode from the inside?
What do the operators say?
Not much. They're dead.
If you're trying to imply a link between VSI products and an operator's accidental death...
I'm not implying anything. I just want to know how an operator can be killed by signals from a surrogate.
The idea itself is absurd. If it were possible, it would defeat the entire purpose of surrogacy.
Surreys have jumped from bridges, been shot, even blown to bits without the least bit of harm to their operators.
What about a human head? What would cause one of them to blow up?
Agent Greer, we're not doctors.
I've always been a fan of science fiction. There's a film noir aspect to it that I liked. There's a kind of broken romance in the middle of it that I thought would be interesting. The original idea of surrogacy began as a creation by one of the characters in the film, Dr. Cantor, to create robotic limbs, which is great technology, and someday I'm sure we'll have that much more to a much more technologically advanced position than we have it now. But they took the idea a little too far.
I want you to look for access codes.
Good job, Agent Greer.
Thank you.
This is Agent Peters. I found Greer. He's been in an accident at Market and Hanover.
So you played Jennifer Peters, so in a couple different versions of her, actually. So can you just talk about the mentality of going into playing kind of a dual role like this?
I mean, it was a fantastic challenge, especially because obviously I'm playing a plastic, you know, FBI agent robot, which was already like, well, what is that, and how do I move, and how robotic am I? Because I have very realistic human features. So I don't sneeze, and I don't have breaths, but other than that, I'm fairly expressive. And that was that was very exciting for all of the actors because we had to create a kind of reality that had all these nuances that had to be consistent. And then, to get to play Real Peters, she sort of features a few times within the story, enough to keep Robot Peters somewhat mercurial, and you're not quite sure what her angle is some of the time. But Real Peters is like a Daniel Johnson type person. Well, that's how I imagined her. And she's got a very particular look, which was quite fun to put together, and had like a little padded butt and buck teeth, and quite an interesting aesthetic. So it was fun to have the opportunity to like drastically change the look of a character in one story.
These people are kind of the best versions of themselves, so to speak. So does that kind of like make like certain things like in our everyday life kind of obsolete?
Yeah, I mean the idea of this movie resonates with how we're living our lives right now. I mean, we're watching things get obsolete all the time. Records have gotten obsolete because of MP3s. Newspapers, sadly, are kind of becoming obsolete. Yes. When the telephone came along, 80 years ago or whatever, people were like, oh my God, people are going to stop like visiting with each other because they'll just be on the phone. Now, people, I know there are companies where the employees are being told, don't just email people, pick up the phone and call them. Like that's somehow like a great thing of human connection. So we're not even, so it's like we're more connected to each other than we've ever been, but yet we're more disconnected from each other because we're just essentially staying at home, doing our shopping, doing our communicating, doing our gathering of information in the world, all basically from, or behind our desks, or for a lot of people lying in bed.
What do you feel like when you're in your surrogate? Like you don't feel fear because you can't hurt yourself, because your surrogate can never feel pain. Do you feel a little bit like of a sense of enhanced confidence? I think we kind of figured that maybe that they did, because at home I think the real people were more kind of maybe socially inept is the word, and maybe that way because they never leave their apartments. I mean, they order everything online, the robot brings everything into the house, and a lot of them live in a really isolated way, alone. So we get glimpses of that, and I think what's great about the movie is it calls into question the way that we live and where society is heading socially. And that's sort of where the strength of the story lies.
How long is it since you've been out without a surrogate?
Can't even remember.
It's different when you actually feel the pain.
What do you want from me?
My wife.
I am your wife.
No, you're not.
You can change the world and now you want to destroy it?
How do I stop this?
You can't.
Maggie, get offline. I think something's going to happen.
What happens now?
Now it's up to you.